Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome to video 3, lesson 3. In this video, we are going to begin to build our routine together. So I know we're not literally together, but the idea is that if we were, then the mode of the lessons right now would turn into a thing where you and I are trying to build our routine together. So we kind of plan it. It's not fully planned, but it's kind of planned. It's the hi, how are you? How's it? What's new? So on and so forth. So we're going to start building our opening routine, and then go back and kind of like to lesson 1, but get the questions that you need. So for example, we learned how to say my name is Tony. How do you say what's your name? It's just getting those basic questions. Okay, so that's the theme of this lesson. All right, here we go. Hola. Hola. Often you can say hola, ¿qué tal? People think ¿qué tal means like what's up. No, it's not. It's not what's up. It's not casual. It's polite. It's somewhat polite. It's rather polite. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal? There's no good translation either. It's not what's up. Que means what, but tal means such. And there's no good. You just say hola, ¿qué tal? Without thinking about it. Here we go. ¿Cómo estás? Means how are you? Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? You could say all three. You could say all of that. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? And listen, when you say ¿cómo estás? It means you're speaking to someone in what's called the tú form. This is like the casual, informal way. If you're speaking to someone more politely, you call that the usted form, and this is something like formal. So you use this for to show extra respect, like to elders and people in a spirit, or even if you just don't know someone well and you're in a professional environment, something like that. So instead of saying ¿cómo estás?, you can simply say ¿cómo está?, and chop off the S. The S is the thing that's, we'll learn more about it later, but the S is the part of the verb conjugation that makes it informal. So taking off the S is polite. You'll also hear ¿cómo está usted? How are you? And finally, you'll see the word usted abbreviated as capital UD period. Okay, so 2 ways to speak. ¿Cómo estás? If you or I were working, we would just be hola, ¿cómo estás? And you can say to me, hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm not super formal. And for a lot of teachers, or if you're in a school, they're ¿cómo está usted? Whatever. So anyways, ¿cómo estás? Or ¿cómo está usted? If you asked me ¿cómo estás? Ask me ¿cómo estás? I'm going to say bien, gracias. Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? So you might remember that ¿y tú? Means and you. So classic example of a routine here. If you ask me hola, ¿cómo estás? I don't want to have to think about that. I want this to be an afterthought, like just automatic, okay? So make this, don't have to think about this. Don't have to think, oh, how am I doing right now? Like, no, just be able to say, bien, gracias, ¿y tú? Bien, gracias, ¿y tú? Bien, So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, gracias, ¿y tú? Bien, gracias, ¿y tú? If you said to me, hola, ¿cómo está usted? I'm going to say, fine, thanks. If you didn't get that the first time, fine, thanks. Bien, gracias. Y usted, to be polite back, So here in the tú form, fine, thanks, and you. Over here, bien, gracias. Bien, gracias. Y usted. Ask me this. Ask me, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? This is another example of something that I don't want you to think, and I'm not personally going to think too much about if I'm learning it. It's in terms of translating it word for word. Okay, this ¿cómo te llamas? is what's your name. So I'm going to say me llamo Tony, and you're going to say me llamo and insert your name. ¿Cómo te llamas? Literally means how you call yourself, and then myself, I call Tony. That doesn't help me too much. It's good to know, but it doesn't help too much. So I'm just going to make it, again, part of my habit, part of my routine, right? So over and over, get into the habit of saying, so what's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Tony. What about you? ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo te llamas? Right? Polite way, again, not going to think too much grammatically, just do it. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se llama usted? And they're going to say me llamo and then whatever the name is, right? So, informal, ¿cómo te llamas? Formal, ¿cómo se llama usted? If you have a practice partner, online practice partner, real life, someone, whoever it may be, there's a good chance that, it's a sure chance that you're either speaking to them in tu form or speaking to them in usted form. So if that's a person you speak with in the tu form and that's the person that you primarily speak with, then you'll want to learn the tu form more than the usted form. And yes, it's cool to know both, and you'll eventually learn both, but this is a language learning strategy point. You don't need to learn everything all at once. Try to learn and this applies here, and it applies everywhere. Learn to say the things you need to say first. So if you're speaking in the tu form, then learn the tu form. You're speaking in the usted form, then learn the usted form. You're speaking in both, then learn both. Eventually you'll learn everything, but focus on the things that you need now first, okay? All right, so next question is this. De means from, donde means where, and eres means are, okay? So again, not something to overanalyze, but if you want to say, from where are you? Where are you from? De donde eres? Soft D, de donde, not de donde. De donde eres? De donde eres? De donde eres? If you ask me de donde eres, I'm going to say soy de... I don't even know where I'm from. I guess soy de Chicago, I'll say, because I live around there. So soy de Chicago. Soy de Chicago. What about you? Let me ask you, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? Okay. Over here, ¿de dónde es usted? And the answer is the same. Soy de. Okay. So, ¿de dónde es usted? Soy de Chicago. Soy de Nueva York. Soy de Miami. Soy de Boston. So on and so forth. Donde means where. And vives means do you live. So, ¿dónde vives? Ask me, ¿dónde vives? I'm going to say, vivo en Chicago. Over here, ¿dónde? Instead of the informal S of ¿dónde vives? I'm going to chop off the S and say, ¿dónde vive usted? Again, ¿dónde vives? Or ¿dónde vive usted? These are classic questions. These are, questions you ask upon meeting someone for the first time. If you go to, meetup.com style, language speaking meetups, these are the questions that you ask. I'm relying on my magic phrase. Hey, listen, I speak a little Spanish. Hablo poquito español. Take it easy on me. Hablo poquito español. But what's your name? ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿De dónde es usted? ¿Dónde vive usted? And just for good measure, we had, so do you speak, you speak Spanish? ¿Hablas español? Hablo poquito español. Hablo poquito español. And then, ¿hablas español? Of course, the S is the informal thing. Take off the S. Probably do it this way. Usted habla español, which is literally you speak Spanish, right? There's no do you speak. It's just you speak Spanish. Usted habla español. Sí, hablo poquito español. Hablo poquito español. Do you study Spanish? ¿Estudias español? Sí. How would you say I study Spanish? con Tony. Name drop. Sí, estudio español con Tony. Okay, over here, it's an analogy. Hablas español is to estudias español, as usted habla español is to usted estudia español, to be polite. Sí, estudio español con Tony. So notice you don't change your answer based on whom you're speaking to. You just change the question, the verb in the question of whom you're speaking to, okay? Anything else on these questions? This is, basic question asking and answering. And from now on, we will start every lesson with a casual conversation. It's going to be me saying to you, hola, ¿cómo estás? And you're going to say, bien, gracias, y tú, right? And I'm not going to ask your name every single time and where you're from every time, because I should already know that, right? But every single day we meet, and every time you meet with the person you're speaking, you'll say, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, bien. And from there, we will begin to expand that opening routine, right? Not start with, how are you? And turn that into, how was your day? And what did you do today? And what are you planning to do later? And so on and so forth. So we're going to merge conversation and grammar through these questions, through this opening routine, okay? I'm going to end this lesson here. Learn this all the way. Learn these questions. Just memorize it if need be, okay? There's a whole lot of patterns later that will help you be able to predict things. But for now, if you have to just memorize it by rote, so be it. Text someone up, call someone, use this material with your conversation partners and practice writing. Just make it part of your routine straight up, okay? These questions, these answers, and we'll continue our opening routine in the next video. Hasta luego.